Hey everybody, Mandy here, and in today's video we will be going over unused beta content within the first Danganronpa game. I figured that I would do a similar type of video as how I did the beta character designs video a while back, and what I mean by that is doing a video for each of the games. There's a lot to talk about for each game, so I figured splitting them into different videos is the best choice as well. I mean, I feel like it would just be better for me with my upload scheduling because, well, if not, the video would be like 30 minutes long. But don't worry, because I will be covering the second and the third game in upcoming videos, so, you know, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 60k subscribers, which is kind of crazy to think about, but, you know, stay subscribed for more Danganronpa content to come. Either way, there will be spoilers in this video for the first game, and thank you to the cutting room floor for all the information on cut Danganronpa content. The link for that will be in the description, so thank you so much for all the pictures, the info, everything, so yeah. Either way, let's get into the video. Many of you out there already know about the Distrust Beta, and it is much more realistic than what we got in the final Danganronpa game. You could decide who lives and who dies, there was a time limit system, and the game just had a lot of different stuff that was going on in the final version. By some of the gameplay and screenshots on the screen right now, you'll see what I mean. This is obviously a very famous beta, however, I just want to give a quick explanation for some people who may not have known. So I'll be going over some unused graphics first, which we start off with this screenshot of Leon and Sayaka seemingly working together holding guns. Leon has a shotgun with Sayaka having a pistol. As you can see, they had a completely different vision for coming up with this game. I have no idea when this would have appeared in the game at all, but you know, it's cool to look at. Next we have an early look at the logo / box art design for the game, which surprisingly has no Monokuma to be found. To me, this early design is kind of really hard to tell who the pro tag is, because, you know, Makoto's kind of just like lumped to the side over here. The style itself is really nice, but, you know, I think what the final design we got was way better. We have an unused alter ego Clash Trial mugshot, which what appears this to be. Kind of weird, as alter ego never appears at all in the Clash Trials. And honestly, by this, it kind of suggests that they were going to be active in the Clash Trials at some point. It's kind of odd to think about. We have a screenshot of the third floor of the dorms, which in the final game there's only 2. However, if you look at this design, it's basically the exact same as the first floor, but with some slight differences. So I really don't think they were going to be planning a third floor, but you know, we never know. Next we have an unused murder case, which would have involved Junko, or in this case Mukuro, to be murdered by a killer instead of them dying by breaking the rules. It's kind of unknown who the killer would have been, as there isn't any clues to suggest who it is, but by these images, we at least know that it can't have been Hifumi or Sayaka. Plus, looking at Junko's design, it was very clearly, like, a very, very early version of the game, most likely meaning that at this point, Junko wasn't even the mastermind. We have this image of Hiro being stabbed, plus his death portrait for the Clash Trials. This comes from the demo version of Danganronpa 1, as Hiro was the first victim to avoid any spoilers. However, my guess is that it accidentally got left within the game files. There are also many strings of text in the game that suggest that extra rooms are going to be in the game that weren't in the final version. Execution grounds, which kind of suggests that we was able to walk around them, or just like explore them maybe, I don't know, but in a way we could have accessed them at one point. There's the Clash Trial courtroom, which you can't obviously access unless a murder has happened. Monokuma Zone was also another piece of string text. I would have loved to see what this is, as it sounds really interesting. However, there's nothing that suggests what this could have even been, so unfortunately we don't have an answer. We have this early version of Sayaka's dead body, which kind of just looks like the final one, but with no blood or no knife or anything. And it makes me believe that this model was used and then edited over to create the final version that we got. It makes sense, however, I don't see any other character's death like this, it's only Sayaka's. We have this image of Monokuma holding a knife and an axe, which shares a big resemblance to the one in the final cover of the game, just, you know, not holding any other weapons. But within the game files, it's actually called Load Anime 2, which, you know, it kind of suggests that this is going to be present during loading screens, like in the little corner as like a loading screen. We have this image of Makoto's back, that's literally it. Here we have Togami sprites, but without any glasses. Weirdly enough, this actually goes unused in every single Danganronpa game, And honestly, I can't think of a reason why. I've mentioned this topic many times in the past, and when I have, I've gotten a lot of comments of people telling me that this could have been used for when Aoi would slap Togami in Danganronpa 1 Chapter 5. However, I guess they just didn't go with it, but either way, it does not explain the fact that these sprites go unused in every single Danganronpa game. Like, what? Why? An early Clash Trial mugshot of Junko Enoshima, which is just unused since it's an earlier version of her design. We have these walking sprites of Leon, which would have been animated. If you do try to animate them, it kind of just doesn't work, because, you know, it's not actually finished. Not all the frames of animation are here, so I don't think you can really animate it. However, I don't know why, but this looks really funny to me, and I can even see it being a meme, you know, Leon walking from behind. Beautiful. There is an unused Monokuma file which translates to Junko Enoshima, time of death between 10 AM and 1 PM. The body was discovered in classroom 1B. In the game's files, there's also two pieces of text that could have been selectable. There is one that says short story, and then another one that says ADHOC mode. And unfortunately, both of these features were obviously cut from the game. Short story would have been obvious, you know, short stories about certain characters, maybe? That would have been really cool to see. I'm not sure if that's what that means, but if that is what that means, that would have been really cool to see. And then ADHOC mode, I legit have no idea what that means. If anybody in the comments does know, please let me know, because as far as I'm aware, I have no idea what this is, and there isn't any extra details about these modes in the game files, so it's kind of hard to imagine what these would have been, but it's a shame they got cut. There was going to be free time events with the white-haired Taka, which never made it into the final game. Like, his entire free time event is literally in the game files, you just can't access it. Next is some placeholder images used for where characters would have been in certain scenes. There's only a couple in the game files, such as this one for Taka, which is done by to see what position they would have been in before they started. We have this one of Toko, of her body coiled up, which is this one when she passed out during Chapter 3. We have this Monokuma Monitor, which at first I thought this was going to show that the Monokuma announcements were going to be a thing. However, this is a 3D model and not an image, so I'm going to theorize a bit here. Since this is a 3D model, I figured that when you're walking around the school and you look up at the monitors, that Monokuma would actually show up when it gets nighttime, or even when there's a body discovery announcement. And since, you know, this was going to happen in the original game, Distrust, it was going to have a time limit, this theory kinda can make sense, but you know, obviously there's no evidence of this being a thing. I'm just kinda having fun theorizing, because I feel like that would have been a really cool idea. We have an earlier version of the posters that we used in the changing rooms. This honestly just looks like they were going for more anime look compared to Distrust's more realistic look, so you know, they had to change it to fit the style. There's also this testing room, but that's it. It's just kind of an empty white box. Obviously they would have been here to test different objects during development. Lastly, we have full body sprites for Mukuro and Sayaka despite not needing them since they were only used during the class trials. However, some of these were used for the extra mode, school mode, when the game came out for English releases and PSP. Oh, sorry, Vita. We also have full body sprites for the white-haired Taka, which, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't appear in the game at all. And to finish it off, we have these earlier renders of Danganronpa characters. I'll put the comparisons on the screen so you can see the differences much more. We have Makoto Naegi, Kyoko Taka Ishimaru, Bayaka Tagami, Mondo Owada, Leon Kawada, Yasuhiro Hagakure, Sayaka Maizono, Kyoko Kirigiri, Ariasa Hina, Toko Fukawa, Sakura Ogami, Celestia Ludenberg, Chihiro Fujisaki, Mukuro Ikusaba, and Junko Enoshima. And well, there we go. That has been Danganronpa 1's unused beta content that never made it into the final game. There are some other stuff such as text strings, but unless it's like something really interesting or super important, I didn't really see a point of adding it since, you know, it's just kind of strings of text. Either way, I'll be going into similar topics for the other games, so be on the lookout for those videos, so stay subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you all in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!